Every morning at exactly 6 a.m., residents of Oakwood Lane witnessed something extraordinary. A tiny 6-year-old girl walking 6 massive golden retrievers through the neighborhood like she commanded an army. Some filmed it, others smiled in amazement, but nobody truly understood. Who was this child? Where was her family? How did someone so young manage these powerful animals with such precision? The girl never spoke to anyone. She simply walked the same route, same determined expression, until one day a curious neighbor decided to uncover the truth. What she discovered would leave the entire community speechless. Before we begin, please like, share, and subscribe. I'm genuinely curious. Where are you watching from? Drop your location in the comments below. The mystery begins. Dawn broke over Oakwood Lane as morning mist clung to the sidewalks. Through the pale light came a sight that had become both familiar and mysterious. A small girl, no older than 6, walked purposefully down the street wearing a bright yellow raincoat that seemed too cheerful for the early morning chill. But the raincoat wasn't what captured everyone's attention. It was her companions. 5 full-grown golden retrievers, their golden fur gleaming in the soft light, moved in perfect synchronization beside her. Their leashes hung loosely in her tiny hands, yet they obeyed her every unspoken command like soldiers following their captain. No adult ever walked with her. No one knew her name or where she lived. Every morning, precisely at 6 o'clock, she appeared from the direction of the old Park District, traced the same path through town, and vanished near the abandoned community center just as the city fully awoke. Then, as mysteriously as she'd arrived, the streets would return to normal. Neighbors whispered theories. Some claimed she was the granddaughter of a famous dog trainer. Others believed the retrievers were therapy animals she was learning to handle. But none could explain the military precision of their movements or the girl's unwavering confidence. The dogs themselves seemed to guard her fiercely. When Mr. Patterson from the hardware store tried to offer her a bottle of water one morning, all 6 retrievers immediately formed a protective barrier, their usually friendly eyes suddenly alert and focused with an intensity that made him step back instinctively. The girl said nothing. She simply gave a soft whistle, and the dogs moved forward, leaving Mr. Patterson standing frozen, the unopened water bottle still in his hand. Soon, videos of the mysterious girl and her 6 golden guardians flooded social media. Comments ranged from amazed to concerned. The Golden Girl, some called her. Others joked about her leading a canine security team. But beneath the humor was unease. Because if you watched carefully, the retrievers weren't just walking. They were protecting her. One constantly checked behind them. Another scanned ahead. A third positioned itself at her immediate side. When a delivery truck passed too close, their muscles tensed, ready to act. And the girl never flinched, never smiled, never spoke. Just that same calm, almost haunted look in her green eyes. The observer. Emma Torres had just moved to Oakwood Lane 2 weeks ago. As a former child psychologist, she developed an instinct for situations that didn't add up. And this girl with 5 golden retrievers definitely didn't add up. From her kitchen window, she watched her every morning. The dogs moved with trained precision. One leading, one trailing, 3 flanking her sides like guards. This wasn't random behavior. This was professional training. She began taking notes. The girl's raincoat was worn but clean. Her sneakers were scuffed from extensive walking. The retriever's fur was well-groomed, their collars maintained, but their movements carried a discipline that reminded her of service animals. One morning, curiosity overcame caution. Emma decided to follow them. She trailed half a block behind as they passed the coffee shop, the library, the flower store. Then they turned down a narrow street leading toward the abandoned community center, a place most residents avoided. The dog's behavior changed. Their ears perked forward, steps slowed, formation tightened. The girl looked up at the sky briefly, whispered something she couldn't hear, and immediately all 5 retrievers relaxed. That single command sent chills down Emma's spine. When they reached a forgotten building at the street's end, they stopped. The structure looked abandoned. Windows boarded up, walls faded and peeling, wooden fence broken and weathered. But the moment the girl pushed through a gap in the fence, the dogs' tension melted away. They wagged their tails softly, as if coming home. Emma crouched behind a parked car, watching. As the girl disappeared inside through a side entrance, she heard faint barking from within. More dogs. At least 3 or 4 more voices. She pulled out her phone, hands trembling. How is a child managing this alone? The incident. 3 days later, Emma followed again. This time, she witnessed something that changed everything. The girl walked her usual route, the 6 retrievers gliding beside her in perfect formation. Everything seemed normal until a cyclist came speeding around the corner, headphones on, clearly distracted. The bicycle swerved dangerously close to where the girl walked. In an instant, the retrievers reacted. The largest one, wearing a blue collar, lunged forward and positioned himself directly between the girl and the approaching cyclist. The others followed, creating a living shield with their bodies. The cyclist swerved hard, lost balance, and tumbled onto the grass, bike clattering beside him. Emma ran forward. "Are you okay?" she called out, but the words caught in her throat. The dogs turned toward her, forming a protective wall. Not aggressive, but clearly warning her to keep her distance. The girl crouched beside the lead retriever, her small hands checking the dog's legs and paws. "Easy, Atlas," she whispered. "You're okay. Good boy, Atlas." That name struck Emma like lightning. Atlas. Not a pet name, a call sign. The kind used by search and rescue teams or therapy dog handlers. She took a careful step closer. "Sweetie, you should get home." That was dangerous. The girl looked up. Her eyes were ancient, too knowing for someone so young. "We're fine," she said quietly, her voice barely audible. Then Emma noticed it. When she checked Atlas's collar, her sleeve rode up, revealing a faded hospital bracelet still on her tiny wrist. Not recent, but not old either. It looked medical, institutional. Before she could ask, the dogs barked in unison, and the girl was gone, disappearing around the corner with her 5 guardians close behind. Emma stood there, heart pounding. Atlas. Service dog. Hospital bracelet. Secrecy. She whispered to herself. There's something much bigger here. The discovery. That night, Emma couldn't sleep. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw that bracelet and heard the girl whisper, "Good boy, Atlas." By dawn, she was parked near the abandoned community center, coffee in hand, waiting. Once the girl left with her retrievers for their morning walk, she approached the building. Every instinct told her to turn back, but something stronger pulled her forward. She found the same gap in the fence and slipped through. The building looked worse up close, paint chipping, steps cracked, windows covered with plywood. But around back, she found a door slightly ajar. Inside was nothing like the exterior suggested. The space had been converted into a makeshift shelter. Clean blankets lined several dog beds. Water bowls sat in neat rows. The smell of antiseptic and dog shampoo filled the air. In the corner, she noticed a wooden crate with faded stenciling. Therapy dog program. Children's hospital. Property of medical center. Emma's pulse quickened. These weren't ordinary dogs. They were trained therapy retrievers. Retired service animals. A soft whine made her turn. An older retriever, gray around the muzzle and moving stiffly, watched her from the shadows. It didn't bark or growl, just stared with intelligent, knowing eyes before retreating deeper into the building. Emma pulled out her phone and photographed the crate, then noticed something else. A child's drawing pinned to the wall. Stick figures of a girl, 5 dogs, and 2 adults. Above it, in careful letters, "My family." But the 2 adult figures had been colored over in black crayon. Who's taking care of whom? Emma whispered. As she backed toward the door, a low warning bark rumbled from somewhere in the darkness. She didn't wait to see which dog it came from. The intervention. Word spread quickly. Within days, someone reported the situation to social services. Emma watched from across the street as a white van marked Child Protective Services pulled up outside the building. Two caseworkers stepped out. One carried a clipboard, the other adjusted her bag. A 6-year-old girl living alone with multiple large dogs? This requires immediate intervention, the younger one said. They approached the fence. Instantly, barking erupted, deep, commanding, protective. Within seconds, 5 golden retrievers appeared at the broken gate, bodies tense, eyes focused with protective intensity. Those aren't regular pets, the older caseworker muttered. That's trained guardian behavior. Before they could proceed, the girl appeared in the doorway. Her yellow raincoat hung off her shoulders, face pale but resolute. "Stop," she commanded. Immediately, all 5 dogs fell silent and returned to her side. Her small hand rested on Atlas's head. "It's okay. They don't understand, but it's okay." "Honey, are your parents here?" the older caseworker asked gently. She shook her head slowly. "Just us. Sweetheart, you can't live like this. It's not safe. We need to find you proper care, and these dogs need to go to a proper facility." Tears filled her eyes. "Please don't take them. They saved me. Now I save them. They need me." Behind her, Emma could see more shapes moving, older retrievers, watching from inside. "We'll need to file a report," the younger caseworker said softly. "We'll return tomorrow with proper arrangements." As they turned to leave, Atlas moved protectively closer to the girl. She knelt beside him. "Sure, it's okay, boys. I won't let them separate us. I promised." From her hiding spot, Emma clenched her fists. She couldn't stay silent anymore. Tomorrow, when they returned, she'd have to act. The storm. Rain hammered Oakwood Lane that night. Lightning split the sky as wind tore through the streets, turning the quiet neighborhood into a scene of chaos and darkness. Emma sat by her window, unable to look away from the storm. She kept thinking about the girl's words. "They saved me. Now I save them." At 9 p.m., she grabbed her raincoat. Something felt wrong. Fighting against the wind, she ran toward the community center. As she approached, she saw it. The wooden fence gate hanging broken, swinging wildly in the wind. "Hello," she shouted into the storm. No response except desperate barking from inside. She pushed through the damaged door. Her flashlight beam cut through the darkness, revealing overturned bowls, scattered blankets, and then movement. Atlas emerged from behind a stack of boxes, soaking wet and shaking. But instead of barking, he whined, a sound of pure distress. "Where is she?" Emma whispered. Atlas turned and ran down a narrow hallway. She followed, shoes splashing through water seeping through the roof. There, in a corner of the building, the girl lay curled up beside 4 older retrievers, clutching a photograph that was protected in a plastic sleeve. Her raincoat was soaked, lips pale from cold. Emma dropped beside her, checking her pulse. Weak but steady. "Hey, I've got you. You're safe now." Atlas barked once, sharp, authoritative. The other dogs backed away slightly, allowing her to help. As she wrapped her coat around the shivering girl, her flashlight caught the photograph the child was clutching. A woman in a hospital volunteer uniform smiled back, standing proudly beside 5 golden retrievers. Below the photo, a caption read, "Sarah Chun, Therapy Dog Coordinator, in loving memory." Next to her stood a small girl, the same girl now shivering in Emma's arms, but younger, healthier, with a bright smile. Thunder cracked overhead, shaking the walls. "Oh my God," Emma breathed. "She's your mother." The truth revealed. By morning, the storm had passed. At 8 a.m., 2 police cruisers and the social services van arrived at the community center. Officers entered cautiously, prepared for the worst. What they found stopped them in their tracks. Not neglect, not abandonment, a sanctuary. Dog beds lined the walls, clean, organized, each with fresh blankets. Medical supplies sat arranged on shelves. Feeding charts hung on the wall, meticulously maintained in a child's handwriting with careful drawings of each dog. And photographs, dozens of them covering one entire wall. Hospital therapy sessions, children smiling with the dogs, awards and certifications. And at the center, the same photo Emma had found Sarah Chun with her therapy team. Pinned beside it was a hospital newsletter. Beloved therapy dog, coordinator loses battle with cancer. The officers fell silent. The truth hit them all at once. This wasn't abandonment. This was love. We can't disrupt this, the senior officer said quietly. Not until we understand the full story. Outside, sunlight broke through the clouds, streaming through the building's broken windows. The retrievers lifted their heads, calm now, as if they knew someone finally understood. The memorial. When Emma returned that afternoon with permission from the police, she found the girl awake, sitting on a cushion with Atlas beside her. Her eyes were red but clear. I knew someone would come eventually, she said softly. Emma sat down carefully. Your mother, Sarah Chun. The cancer. That was a year ago, wasn't it? The girl nodded, tears streaming down her face. She ran the therapy dog program at Children's Hospital. When she got sick, she still went to work. These dogs, they helped sick kids feel better. They helped me feel better when I was sick too. Her voice cracked. When Mom died, the hospital said the dogs were too old for the program. They were going to put them down. Said nobody adopts old therapy dogs. Emma's heart shattered. So you took them? Mom always said, we save them, they save us. Before she died, she made me promise to take care of them. I found this place. It's where she used to train them. I just kept doing what she taught me. The girl pulled out a worn notebook. Inside were pages of careful instructions in an adult's handwriting. How to care for Atlas. Medicine schedule for Luna. Bella's special diet. Max's arthritis treatment. Cooper's anxiety management. And Rocky's training routine. She left me everything I needed to know, the girl whispered. I couldn't break my promise. Emma couldn't hold back her tears. You kept that promise better than anyone could have asked. But sweetie, what's your name? Lily, the girl said quietly. Lily Chun. Well, Lily, you're not alone anymore. Let me help you. We'll make sure you and these dogs stay together. I promise. Sunlight poured through the windows, casting golden light across Sarah Chin's photograph and her faithful team. In that moment, surrounded by love and loyalty, the truth finally felt complete. The recognition. News spread through Oakwood Lane like wildfire. What began as concern transformed into something beautiful recognition. By evening, neighbors Emma once saw whisper behind closed doors now stood outside the community center with supplies. Dog food, blankets, toys, medical supplies. Mr. Patterson arrived with cases of water, tears streaming down his face. All this time we misunderstood. She was honoring her mother. A small crowd gathered as sunset painted the sky orange and gold. When Lily stepped outside, Atlas and the other 4 retrievers beside her, everyone fell silent. Then, slowly applause began. Soft at first, then growing stronger. A woman in a hospital administrator uniform approached. Dr. Martinez, the current director of the Children's Hospital. She carried something in her hands. Your mother was the heart of our therapy program, Dr. Martinez said, voice thick with emotion. And now everyone knows her daughter carries the same spirit. She knelt down and pinned something to Lily's raincoat, Sarah Chin's volunteer coordinator badge, polished and gleaming. This isn't just a badge, Dr. Martinez continued. It's a promise. The hospital will provide everything you and these dogs need. Your mother's program will continue, and you'll be part of it. These dogs will have a home, proper care, and you'll have a family, us. Lily looked down at Atlas, tears glistening. She'd be proud, wouldn't she? Dr. Martinez smiled through her tears. She already is. The crowd erupted in cheers. Children held signs reading, Heroes have 4 paws, and Thank you, Lily and the Golden Crew. Emma stood beside Lily, her hand on the small girl's shoulder. "You've changed all of us," she whispered. As the sun set over Oakwood Lane, Atlas barked once deep and proud. The sound echoed across the neighborhood, and everyone felt it. The spirit of Sarah Chun, watching from above, proud of her daughter and her team. For the first time since that terrible day 1 year ago, Lily felt truly home. Epilogue. The camera lingers on a final scene. Lily and her 6 golden retrievers walking down Oakwood Lane. But this time, she's not alone. Emma walks beside her, and neighbors wave from their porches. Children run up to pet the dogs, who wag their tails gently, back to doing what they were trained for, bringing joy. The same street where the mystery began, now filled with understanding and love. Because everyone finally knew the truth. She wasn't just a girl walking dogs every morning. She was the daughter of a hero, the keeper of a promise, and a heart that kept alive a legacy of healing and unconditional love. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Tell us in the comments, where are you watching from? Because stories like this remind us that heroes don't always wear capes. Sometimes they wear volunteer badges. And sometimes they're raised by 6-year-olds with courage bigger than themselves. Stay tuned for more stories that prove one thing: love, loyalty, and promises can change the world.